in Virgo is this necessity that they have of exposing um, their nature of serving the others, and basically the main point of this shop. So labor responsibility, of course. Then we have the seventh house, which is also a very important house to me. I believe that I'm very Venusian because I'm Taurus, but also have a lot of hair. So we have here a bit of balance, or Libra in this case. Portuguese we call scale, but it's Libra, okay, and makes all the sense because it's everything to do with knowing the other persons, and in order to do that we have to have responsibility in the relationships and basically towards the other person. So it's conjugal or intimacy responsibility, which I believe it's the most difficult thing to achieve. Then we have the eighth house, or if you prefer, the shop of the um, psychiatrists. Because we have here the necessity of analyzing our deepest fears, but also our sexual relationship, how we develop it. It's not about how we drive the relationship in the economical and we may say visible dimension, but in the profound dimension. So the difference between Libra and Scorpio, it's basically the way you can manage, because Libra has everything to do with management, exterior image of the relation, and also the communication between couples, not communication towards family, like we have in the first in the third shop, which is all to do with the communication in general basis, the communication to family, but also the communication uh, journaling, basically the journal, the redaction of the journal, where you just write the stories. So in here we have a different way of communication, the communication between two people which are committed to have a relationship. It also is applicable to industries, to commerce, and um, uh, making any type of economical fellowship is in here in the seventh house. Eighth house has to do with the most profound reflection. It has to do with the psychiatrist's role, and then we have the superior houses or shops. We have the ninth shop. It's about Sagittarius. It also has to do with justice and institutions. In this case, we are talking about universities and about also diplomacy. It's all about expansion, knowledge of different cultures, and the notion of the individual principle versus the collective and other individual opinions and dimensions. And this is absolutely essential in these last four houses. We have then the Capricorn, which has to do with me because it's my shop, it's where I work, and it's all to do with politics and ethics in politics, basically. The way you perceive an objective and at the same time you value people not from their brightest side, but from their difficulties, their um, dependencies, their frailties, because Capricorn has to do with gaining strength, and actual strength has to do with superation of obstacles and dependencies. And this is the work in the house of Capricorn. Then we have the house of Aquarius, has to do with expansion, like Sagittarius, but not in a creative way of differences and new ways of thinking, but essentially in destroying the what is built and bringing the new way of dealing with the world. It also has to do with ecology, with new values, with I would say notion of complexity and communication from people to the world. It has to do also with leadership. It has also to do with any kind of association and rules of friendship, basically. If we have the relation with our family in the third house of Gemini, and of course the male shop, if we think about um, if we think about the seventh, it has to do with couples, the relationship between couples. In here, we have the relationship between groups of people. So it has to do with this complexity, not individual affirmation, but with the connection between different ways of thinking and behaving and getting a ground by destruction of what is built. If you want to see the house of Capricorn as the house of the father, you have here the house of the son, because it is to do with people coming together in creating new ways of connecting themselves between them, like the internet, for instance. So it has to do with the new order of relationships in the world. And this is all to do with the present days that we are living now. And I believe it's important to know and to also um, accept and bring on to the institutional system these tendencies. So this is also a very important house, okay, for all people, and a powerful shop. So I call it the gremium shop, okay, like in Latin. And then we have the church, or if you prefer, the temple shop. The temple shop, which is it is related to Pisces, and it is the shop of the collective awareness, okay, and acceptance, that we all are a part of this, I would say, exceptional experience that we are living, and it is necessary to detach from individuality in order to feel collective energy. It also has to do with responsibility towards community and towards bringing a better world together. You can say Aquarius has also to do with that, but not in the sense of aggregation, more in the sense of affirmation. The sense of Pisces is aggregation, is the conceptualization and realization that we all are part of something which is unique, but it is also something that is not apart from others. The concept of dilution, okay, I believe it's the best way to say it. When we are in the 12th house or in the temple shop, we work on getting together as a human race only, uh, as a unique body of all. And this concept is very, very important in Pisces, because it's also all about dispersion, um, deep knowledge, um, and also more than knowledge, deep intuition, and we may say the concept of non-identification. Okay, These are all very complex issues and themes, which I will go further in each shop. But it was important to speak about it because I will develop these different shops, these teams, and from the perspective of the coach, or from a coaching perspective, because my idea is to not only describe what are these areas, but also to bring their values and how you can get better in every one of these different areas, because every person has the 12. Also bring in you, and this is the self-knowledge part, which is the shop that you are going to live in or embrace. You can embrace the tent. You can say, okay, I was born in the tent house, in my case. But in my experience, I'm a lawyer by accident, I would say, but today I think it's a choice. It has nothing to do with the politician, because basically it's very strict values. It's more related to Sagittarius or even to Libra. Strangely enough, when I analyzed my whole chart, natal charts, I discovered that the values of Venus were very strong. I'm a Venusian, clearly, and as I was deepening my knowledge about myself, I discovered that I had a lot of communicational skills also, and that my Venusian tendency was more towards Libra. So comportamental discipline is very important in the area of relationships, and that changes a bit my perspective about life. But I also understand that it's important to perceive this from a strong-minded and not only a strong-minded mentality, but also a way that other people can respect you. So the 10th house is always going to be very important to me also. And it's, as I used to say to many of my friends, we can only work in one to achieve some kind of satisfaction and excellence, because I believe we must be excellent in something. So we must learn from all the shops, because we have every one of them in our core, in our soul. So we must work them, but we also need to improve our shop by choice, the shop that defines us. And this is also to discover who we are and what we want to do in life. And that's all to do with coaching. So this will be a coach program, but this is also a way of learning about others and ourselves in order to discover and achieve our most important um, our most important objectives in life. Okay, focus in what's important for us, but for giving us time and preparation, we need to know the difference between these different areas, and this is also a way of knowing different energies and understand in ourselves which is the energy which talks to us every day. And from there we will choose and work more and more on it. This project probably will not be a solitary one. I will invite people that I believe that are more in the energy, and it will be also a work that I want to present in a more